Hello! In this video I'm showing you two ways to pair a new Hive thermostat and receiving it to an existing system where you already have Hive Active Heating installed. So you'll then be able to control 2 or maybe 3 heating zones separately with different times and temperatures, give you more control and making your system more efficient. Now, I'm not going to go into the wiring on this video because I want to keep it just about the pairing, but you will need to wire in some additional controls like a zone valve to zone off the separate areas, or maybe you've got some underfloor heating with some additional controls on there. Now, just a bit of technical information about how many zones you can have. Now, at this point in time, you can only have 3 receiver units, so that's 3 separate heating zones. If you've got a dual receiver unit to control your hot water and your central heating separately, that would then give you 4 zones. 1 zone for your hot water and then 3 zones for your central heating, but you can still only have 3 receiver units, but that may change in the future. Just before I get on with the video, I want to quickly let you know that I made lots of other videos all about this Hive system. So stand options, more wiring options, smart thermostatic radiator valves, and of course, how to wire it in with the zone valves. So you can find all those linked in the description below. Right, now let's get on with pairing these Hive units together. So let's take a look at our existing system and what I'm adding to the existing system. So here is my switch fuse spur that's supplying power to my combination boiler, or it could be to your system controls. If you have that traditional system where you have that large hot water tank. Now here is my existing Hive Active Heating, and this is a receiver unit which is wired into my combination boiler, or again your system controls, by using a 5-core flex. Up here is the thermostat, and if I touch the button on the front you can see it lights up, and this thermostat is connected to the receiver unit just below it. Over here is the hub, and you can see there's power on that because we have a solid green light lit up there. And if we look at the hub, there's also a solid green light indicating that they're all connected together. Now, just before I connect up the new zoned area with the Hive thermostat, I'll just check that this part of the system is actually working okay. So just turn the temperature up to 25 degrees. We should now see this light come on. There we are, lights on, and then my boilers come on. So I know this is all working correctly. It's always a good idea to test everything before you go adding new things, just in case you end up with some problems. And there you go, you can see I've turned it off now, and then the boiler will go off in about 50 seconds. So now I'm happy that everything is working fine on my existing system. It's now time to add the new zoned area and the thermostat and the receiver unit. Now, like I said in my introduction, I'm not going to go into the wiring in this video. You can check out my other video if you want to know more about the wiring, where I go into it in detail. So let's get on with the 2 methods where you can pair in these new controls. So now I've finished wiring in my new controls, I can refit the fuse and turn on the power. So there we go, I've just turned on the power. You can now see the existing receiver unit was flashing and now it's turned to a solid green, and our new Hive receiver unit is flashing amber. And that's 2 quick flashes, which means it is in pairing mode, so it's looking to connect onto our existing system. Now, I just want to quickly show you this light here is a solid green. I've got some bright lights on here just trying to light everything up. If I just turn my lights off now, hopefully you can now see that that is a solid green on the receiver unit. And we've got that double flashing amber on the new receiver unit. And the hub also has a solid green light on it. So this is pretty straightforward. All we need to do is to open up the Hive app on our smartphone and add a new device. So now I've got the Hive app open and I'm on the first screen and it's saying good morning to me. So all I need to do is to press the 3 little dots in the top right hand corner here. Then this little menu pops up and then we just need to touch on the bottom there where it says install new device. And then we're taken to this screen where we can then add our new thermostat. The top picture is our thermostat, so I'll touch on that. And then we're taken to this screen where it then says add new heating zone, upgrade or replace, or radiator valve. Obviously we are adding a new heating zone, so I'm going to touch on that picture at the top there. Then we're taken to this screen where we've just got to click on start. Now it asks us if we've got power on, and the light on the front of the receiver is double flashing amber. If it's not, then turn the power off and then back on again, and then you should get that double flashing amber. Now if it's not double flashing amber and it's a pinky color, then we need to press and we need to hold the button on the front of the receiver unit for 10 seconds until it changes from a pinky white color to the amber double flashing. Now I've clicked on Find Thermostat, and the app is now searching for the thermostat, the hub and the receiver unit. You can see on the hub now there is an amber flashing light indicating that it is in pairing mode and it's looking to connect a new device. And now I'm going to put my phone down here and power up the thermostat. Now just before I powered up the thermostat, the double flashing light on the receiver unit has now changed to a single flash. So it's now made a connection with the hub or the app. So I'm now going to power up the thermostat. By the way, this thermostat doesn't come with a stand. I bought that separately, and you can find out more about that on one of my other videos. So all I need to do now is to remove this tab which will power up the thermostat. There is, so I just pull that little tag out like that, and that's now going to power up the thermostat. You can see it now, it says Hive on the front of the thermostat, and it's now looking for the receiver unit. Now the thermostat's just going through its startup process, and in just a second it'll say searching, and there'll be a counter on the front like that, and that's going to count up, just indicating how long it's been searching for. Now the time it takes to pair up seems to vary, but Hive says it should take about 20 seconds. You can see that the hub has now changed to a solid green. I'm just going to touch on my phone here and keep that screen lit up. In just a second the hub starts flashing amber again, and there we go, that's now flashing amber again. I'm not sure exactly what that means. It kind of gives me the impression maybe something's gone wrong and it's restarted trying to pair. Like I said, this takes a little while, so I'm just going to put the thermostat down and just let it do its thing. Now a minute and 20 seconds later, my hub light turns to a solid green, indicating that it has now connected. But I've still got an amber flashing light on the hub. If I touch one of the thermostat buttons, the screen has now changed from searching to the temperature of the room. That indicates to me it's connected to the receiver unit. Another 45 seconds later, the hub light turns to a solid green, so we know that that is now connected, and it looks like everything is working fine. But my app on my phone is still searching. So just to recap, my receiving is connected because it's solid green, the hub is connected, that's solid green, and the thermostat, that is now operating as well. So if I touch on the middle button there, it lights up the display, and we can see it says 22 degrees. That's the actual temperature of the room. Now if I go into the app, I just cut past my password. The screen has now changed and it says device pairing, tap continue when ready. Then a little message pops up saying, "We are having trouble getting your new heating zone. We will keep trying." So I thought I'd just leave it and see if it sorts itself out. But in the meantime, I can just test that the new thermostat and the zone is working. So I can just touch on the screen here. I can raise the temperature up. So I'm going to turn my temperature up, say to 25 degrees. I'm just holding the button now and it should start going up. There we go. Okay, well that's 26 degrees. And then we should see the green light come on the receiver unit. There we go. Green light's come on. Now that's going to turn our boiler on, but first of all we have to wait for the zone valve to open up. Then we should see my little smiling yellow face light up. It takes a couple of seconds, but there we go, the light has now come on, indicating that it's turned my heating on. Now I can turn the heating back off again just as easily by pressing the down arrow. So I'm just going to take this all the way down. I'll take it down to 10 degrees. So I'm just touching the button lots of times and you can see it's turning that temperature down. We have to wait for the display to change and then we see the green light on the front of the receiver unit start flashing. Now the green light on the front of the receiver unit will continue flashing for about 50 seconds before it actually turns the heating off. And then what's going to happen is the zone valve will then close and then that will then turn the boiler off. And there we go, green light stopped flashing and our heating has turned off. So we proved everything's working, so let's go back to the app. Now it says it's still searching, so what I'm going to do is just to close the app. So I'm going to touch on this here, close it like that, and then reopen the app again. There we go. Now the app's now opening up. And there we go. Look, my other thermostat is already there. So obviously the app had a bit of a glitch. And now you can see my second thermostat is in the display just here. Now it does say thermostat 3, but I can change the name in the settings. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second or two. But let's just check it's working okay. So I'm just going to flick the temperature up to 25 degrees. And there we go. Green light's on. Zone valve will start opening. And then we should see our boiler light come on any second now. And there we go, the boiler lights come on. Now just remember, with this type of wiring, the boiler is going to come on and it's going to turn the heating on to the entire house because there's no other zone valve on the existing system. So let's just turn the temperature back down again so I can just scroll up like this. I'm going to keep going until I get to say frost protection. There we go. 5 degrees, frost protection. The green light's now started flashing, indicating that it's turned the central heating off. And again, in a short while, it'll then turn the boiler off. So everything seems to be working absolutely fine. So the new zone has now been added, and we can control the zone with the thermostat or with the app on our phone. And you can see the receiver light just went off, the zone valve's now closed, and the heating has turned off. Now to change the name of our new thermostat or zone, this is pretty straightforward. We just click on the thermostat, then click on the cog at the top there, the settings button. Just touch on that. There we go. And now we can see it says rename device. So we just click on that, and then we can just delete the old name and we can just add our new name. Now I'm just going to call this back room for now. And there we go, back room. Then I can just click on the save like that. And then we can just go back again like that, back again. And there we are. We can see it's now called back room. And of course I can rename my thermostat at the top there, maybe call that main house, or I could change that to conservatory or whatever you prefer it to be. Just before I show you that second pairing method, which I actually found was a lot smoother and easier, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Mark Ballard and I've been a gas registered engineer for nearly 30 years. The aim of my channel is to help you with your central heating and your plumbing. If you find this video at all useful, then please give me that little bit of feedback by clicking on that thumbs up or the subscribe. You can ring on the bell if you want to receive a notification, and of course you can share the video with your friends. And I'd like to say a really big thank you to everybody who's bought me a cup of coffee and left me a donation in my toolbox fund. It's really appreciated and it does really help me to make more videos which will hopefully help you. Now let's take a look at the other method for adding another control. Now for me this method worked a little quicker and there was no glitches with the app. So now I have my original receiver unit, I got the original thermostat, I got the second one and a second thermostat, we've got a hub over here, and now I'm going to add a third receiver unit and also a third thermostat. Now I've got my third receiver unit piggybacked straight off the back of my original receiver unit. Now obviously you would normally wire in an additional zone valve to control this new zone which we are adding, but for demonstration purposes I've not done that. Now if I was wiring this zone valve in, I could wire it in directly into the back plate of the receiver unit. Now on my second zone I added a wiring center, but you can use whatever method works for you. So now let's fit the receiver unit to its back plate and turn on the power. And there we go, power is now on, and then all the receiver units start flashing, indicating that they are in Hive Active Heating mode. And there are two paired ones turn to a solid green, and then the new receiver unit starts that double flashing amber, so you know it's in pairing mode. So this time we're not going to use the phone, we're going to use the hub instead. So let's pick up the hub. And then on the back of the hub there's a little button. Now if we press that button and we hold it for 1 second, the light on the front of the receiver unit will start flashing amber. So let's just press that button, 1 second, and there we go, the amber light has now started flashing amber. So we know that the hub is now in pairing mode and is looking for a device to connect to. Now let's just keep an eye on this light here, which is still double flashing amber, because it'll turn to a single flash when it's made the connection with the hub. So I'm just going to take the back off it and remove the tab, and now the thermostat is now powering up. So let's just put that down there, and then let's see how long it takes for all 3 units to pair together. Now I know doing it this way it just took 20 seconds for all 3 to pair together. The thermostat is still just going through its startup process. You can see it's now searching, and we've got the counter counting up. And then any second the receiving unit changes to a single flash. And there you go, it's now got a single flash on the receiving unit. So we know that's now made a connection with the hub. And now the thermostat is just about to reach 24 seconds, and then the screen will change and say pairing. The lights on the receiving unit has now turned to a solid green, and in just a couple of seconds on the thermostat it will then say pairing successful. And there we go, pairing successful. So now the receiving unit, the thermostat and the hub are all joined together. Now I don't know if you saw that then, but scrolling along the bottom of the screen on the thermostat it said thermostat 3. Using this method you can leave the hub in its pairing mode and then pair both the receivers. Finish pairing one and then you power up the second one and pair that one. And then when we finish pairing we just press the button on the back of the hub again, and that takes it out of pairing mode. And there we go, we just got a solid green light on the front now, so we're all set up and ready to go. Now before I check the app I just want to make sure that the thermostat is working okay, so I just press the button on the front to light the screen up. We can now see it says thermostat 3, you can see that scrolling across the bottom there, and just adjust the temperature up to turn the heating on. So I'm just going to hold the button and take it up to 25 degrees. I'll just jump forwards to that. And there we go, 25 degrees, and now we should see the lights on the receiver come on and our boiler come on as well. And there we go, receiver lights on and our boiler light has come on as well, showing us that it's all working correctly. I just turn it back down again to say 15 degrees, and then we should see the lights on the receiver box start flashing, indicating that it's going to turn the heating off in about 50 seconds. And there we go, that's all working fine. And here's the receiver turning off and the boiler going off with it. So now let's take a look at the app and see what's happened there. So I'm going to touch on the app, that's opening up, and just as it opens up you can see there's 2 thermostats there, but as soon as it actually links to the hub you can see it's actually added the 3rd thermostat. So I didn't need to do anything with the app. So now we've got 3 thermostats. Now it's slightly rearranged them, so we've now got the back room at the top, then we got thermostat 1 which is the main house, and then we got our new one thermostat 3. Now we can just boost these by pressing the boost button like that, and then we just scroll up and press start, and then that's going to bring the heating on in that room. So let's boost that, there we go, receiver light come on, that's now turned that zone on, and you can see our boiler lights come on as well. So let's just boost the main house now. So I'll press the boost button on that one like that, press start, and there we go, you'll see the light come on in the background. There it is, light on. And let's boost the final one. So that's the back room, press that one. Now it's just set a time for that so we can adjust how long we boost it for. So we are 2 hours, press start, and then you'll see that light come on the receiver box, and that's it, everything is working fine. And obviously it's just as easy to turn the individual zones off. Just press stop, and there you go, you can see the lights are flashing, indicating that they are now all turning off, and in 50 seconds or so the boiler will go out. Obviously don't forget you would want to add some additional zone valves, and like I said in the intro, if you want to know about wiring those up then you can check my other video out, which I'll leave a link at the end of the video. One last thing I thought I'd mention, you may be wondering what happens if the power goes off. Well, it's pretty straightforward. When the power comes back on like that, all 3 receiver units flash, indicating they're all in the same mode, and then they've all just come back on, showing they got a solid green, meaning that they got a connection with their thermostats and with the hub. So there's no need to worry about power going off. Right, that's about it then. So I do hope my video has been helpful to you. If you want to know how to wire in to your zone valves, then click on the link just there. If you want to just know more wiring options, stand options, you can click on that link just there. You can click on subscribe, ring on the bell, share it with your friends, give me a thumbs up, and a cup of coffee is always appreciated. Bye for now. See you next time.